What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another reaction video for you guys. Now, in this particular video, these women are saying that children don't really need fathers. So we're gonna get into the video. Make sure you chime in. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this particular video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Also, hype up the video, you guys. Make sure you are hyping the video as well. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But let's get into this video. Here we go.
And hear me out. Do children really need their fathers? Or do they need a stable home with two sources of income? I feel like a lot of times these fathers do more harm than good, because a lot of these people that's running around here in the world, they come from two-parent households. Their father was there, he just wasn't doing shit. A lot of these men, they're not helping the wives raise the kids, bro. Yeah, they're bringing home the money, but really it's 2025. Hell, the women working more than the men. So yeah, they might be bringing home income, but that's all they're doing. They're not actually raising these children. And this is coming from somebody who, my adoptive parents have been together for 40 years. They're still married. He did more harm than good. We would have been better off if she left him like we told her to. That nigga pretty much, you know, he kind of fucked up my older brother and my older sister. I'm just a wild child, so I rebelled. But really though, I see why men never used to be allowed to be around women and children. Children really don't need their fathers. They do more harm than good a lot of times.
Now, this is just ridiculous, y'all, for grown people who's supposed to be so educated to come out here and make a blanket statement as such, are taking their anecdotal situations and they're making it a broad spectrum. They're making it as if this is how it is for everyone. And we know for a fact that is not the case. We know that there are stats out there that clearly, and examples that clearly show you that children do far better with two-parent households, and even they do just as good with single father households. So this idea that the fathers are just a problem and that there aren't any women out there or mothers out there who are, you know, not raising their kids properly is just insane to me. And this is the one-sided narrative that we always get. And this is why I do the content that I do, because I want to make it clear that this is not the majority and this is not a one-sided thing. This does not go all men bad, all women good, because we know that there's some messed up women out there. We know that there are a lot of deadbeat mothers as well. So to keep harping and focusing on the fact that you believe from your own experiences that the men are always the problem, it's just ridiculous. But let's continue, y'all. Let's listen to a little bit more of this nonsense. Here we go.
I'm hearing so much of this children need their fathers bullshit. And then people who spew off and talk about statistics, how the majority of the people in jail are fatherless. Well, let me share with you the perspective of growing up with a sociopathic father, malignant narcissist as a father. Quite frankly, I was such a good kid and I would have been better off without him. How about we start paying attention to the fact that the mothers are so traumatized and unsupported, therefore unable to parent after picking a partner who's a criminal, abusive, deadbeat. Doesn't matter if they're actually convicted or not, a father who abandons their child is a criminal. You know what children need? They need healthy adults. And if they can have one healthy adult in their life, that's more than what most people have. The most aware parent has to become the leader. That means we need to empower the mothers who once made the wrong decision, but she has the power to change the generation line.
That is some BS if I've ever heard it. These women hate to have to take any type of accountability whatsoever. It's just asinine that you got a group of women out here who admit that they picked the wrong men, right? At which we can acknowledge that there are some deadbeats out there. There are men who don't raise their kids and don't take care of their children. Yes. But on the flip side, these women aren't, you know, Mother Teresa. They're not out here as the best examples of mothers. Every woman out here in the world is so spiritual and so holy and so great and just got it all together, and they just keep picking the wrong narcissistic, abusive, just crazy men. That doesn't even really equate. There's no one size fits all, and there's no one side to all of it. We have crazy people in every area. Crazy women, crazy men, crazy people everywhere. But we gotta stop with this always putting it all, the men are the problem. When you don't get what you want, when you choose badly, you get a man that's horrible to you and treats you horribly. Now every man is like that. But every man you keep picking is like that. While other women are getting good men who are great fathers and great husbands. We got to stop thinking that people are supposed to be perfect, because I think these women are moving in a way that if he's not perfect and he's bad, he's not for me. While you, on the other hand, you're imperfect yourself. And there's a lot of mistakes that women are constantly making, and there's never any accountability. You never look at yourself and say, well, damn, I was the problem in this situation. You hear nothing but the men are the problem, and that just can't be. We got to stop moving like that, because it's the reason why men don't want to be bothered with a lot of women now. It's not no one thing. It all exists, but you got to stop making it a blanket statement as if this is the nature of men all over the world, and this is how it is. All the men ain't. and all the women are just so great. No, that is just not the case. Let's continue.
Kids need a father. Kids need stability, safety, peace, and harmony in their homes. And if that father is not bringing that, he is a disservice in that house. Only and only if he is bettering the lives of those children and an active, engaged father who is loving and is a provider and a protector in real life, not just no soundbite bull, no paper bull that y'all like to toss around, but he actually is doing his due diligence to raise his children, then he is needed. If not, ain't no need for him, especially in that house, messing up everybody's emotions, got everybody on eggshells, walking on eggshells, got everybody full of anxiety when his key opens the door and everybody holding their breath to see what type of mood he's going to be in that day. I don't want to hear it. Be quiet. Be quiet.
The narcissist targets the mother first, breaks her down, and then pretends to be the perfect father. But guess what? A child is better off with no father than with a broken mother. Why? Because a baby learns how to feel safe, how to regulate through her. If she's emotionally shattered, the baby has no blueprint for safety. All the child learns is stress, confusion, survival mode. And that's the real damage no one talks about. Not the father, not the narcissist. It's the mother who's broken.
Children don't need men in homes just for the sake of saying that they have a two-parent household. So many children resent their mothers for bringing men into their child-free homes to avoid the stigma of being a single parent and raising children in a single parent household. So many women or moms allow society to judge them, and they internalize that judgment of raising their children in homes by themselves, so much so that they are willing to put themselves and their children's lives and safety at risk, all just to say that there's a man in that home.
Now, let me just say this. I think you should not just be bringing a man into your home just to be bringing a man into your home. There are women who do that, because I've actually seen that. But I think this is where they lose me, because it should not be you just bring a man in a home just to say you got a man. No, it should be all about the man and his character and who he is and what he, first off, it should be about the man you had the child with, first of all. So it should be the man that you had the child with, because those children need their fathers. And if you have sons on top of that, you need to have a good example of what a father is. So you need to have the father there to teach that young boy how to be a man. And I think that's what's missing. So to just blanketly state that, oh, children don't need fathers is ridiculous, because boys need to be able to have their fathers to teach them how to be a man, because I don't believe that women are able to do that. Yes. Have women raise sons? Yes. Have the sons turn out pretty decent? Yeah. But a lot of those men, not all of them, but a lot of the men that I've talked to who were raised by single mothers had mentors. They had male figures in their life to teach them certain things that their mother couldn't. So they had to have those guys to help guide them, because they didn't have fathers in the home. So still a man is needed, but I would agree that he needs to have the proper means. You know, he has to be there for the right reasons, not just there just to, screw her and keep her company, but he has to be able to be there to teach the young men, to guide them and teach them how to be a man, because I don't think a woman can properly do that. Those boys still need male guidance in the right way, and teaching them the things that they need to know in life that's going to help guide them. And I think just as much as I think girls need their fathers as well and their mothers, you need both parents. That's why it takes two to raise children. And so I think this is why it's so critical when you're out here looking for a person to build a life with and establish a relationship with and create a family with, you have to pick properly. You have to pick and vet men who have those qualities, men who want a family, men who have his, he has his head on straight. He knows what he wants. He's headed in the right direction. He wants to be there for children. He wants to have a wife. He wants to have these things. But a lot of times women don't pick those guys because either he don't look like they want him to look. His physical aesthetic appearance is not up to par with what's their type. When their type is the one that don't have all these qualities and not trying to do any of that. But they keep going for those guys thinking that he's going to turn into what they need him to be. And that becomes a big issue. And that's partly why we have so many single mothers out here in these streets right now. So yeah, I think it's very vital that children have their mothers and fathers, but this is, and for anybody that's watching that hasn't started a family yet, this is very important. You're supposed to vet the guy who's going to be a good protector, a good provider, a responsible man, a loving man, a man who loves kids, because y'all want, who wants kids, who wants a wife, who wants the family life, because not every man wants that. So you have to vet the type of man that would have the qualities and the things that you're looking for. You can't go vet Long D Willie and think that he gonna want to just lock in with you and only be with you. No, Long D Willie is trying to show that Long D to however many people he can. Long D Willie ain't trying to sit down and just be with you. He's out there having a good time with everybody else. So y'all keep picking Long D Willie, thinking that Long D Willie is gonna settle down with you and have a family and be kumbaya with you and the kids and living that family life. No, Long D Willie want to be in the streets. But y'all keep picking him and thinking that you're gonna have the cooch to tame him. You think that your cooch is gonna be enough to tame him and make him settle down with you. And when he don't, now all men are just a narcissist and deadbeats and a Long D Willie. You gotta stop picking for the wrong reasons. And a lot of women do that, but they won't admit it. Let's continue.
They need stability, they need safety, they need peace in their homes. Having a man-free home brings predictability, calmness, and emotional safety into the lives of those children in that home. So having a man-free home is peaceful and is a sanctuary for a lot of children.
Their father in their life. If the quality of your happiness as a single mother is tested on a constant basis, can you make the decision that the children do not really need him around? If the way that he treats you is detrimental to your mental and emotional health, do you have to make that decision? I was married to my children's father, and I had been with him since I was 12 years old. After making the decision to divorce my ex-husband, he was very emotionally and mentally abusive to me. I used to make the excuse all the time, like, my kids need their father, they need their father. But at what cost? I used to get so angry, and I used to go into these deep, dark spaces every time I had to deal with him. By the time my kids came home to be with me, I'm depleted emotionally. It so far that I would talk badly about my kid's father in front of them. And then I had to make the hardest decision that I really did not want to make. After sitting and thinking to myself, this is not what I want for me. If I have to continuously allow myself to be damaged in such a way, how much good am I going to be for my kids? And as a single mom, of course, we're looking around to all the women that are around us, whether they're married or maybe they have children and maybe them and their children's father aren't together. But the co-parenting goes well for them. And I never saw myself being a single mom, literally with their father out of the picture. I never saw this coming. But when I tell you, I am the happiest I have ever been with him outside of the picture. Are my kids sad about this sometimes? Absolutely. I'm sure they think about it quite often. But am I my best self with them? Absolutely. Absolutely. They get a better quality of a mother from me because I'm not being abused. I'm happy. My spiritual relationship with God is amazing. There are a lot of mothers and a lot of single mothers out here that sacrifice the quality of their happiness when it comes to their children just to have the children's father around. I refuse to be one of them. Now, I don't know what the future may bring. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe someday we will come to a place where we can get along, where I can respect him and he can respect me. And we can co-parent like adults and be the best version of ourselves for our children. But until then, it ain't happening.
Listen, we hear this same story over and over and over again. Now, this what she's saying sounds good, and a lot of women just eat that up, of course, because she's only speaking from her perspective. It's her narrative and only her narrative. We can't hear the father's side of this. We can't hear the part that she played in this because the relationship takes two. We can't hear how she contributed to the relationship in a negative way. This almost makes it seem as if she was in a relationship, she was married to a husband, and her husband was just doing everything wrong and she did everything right. That she never did anything else, outlandish or anything, that she was just this perfect specimen. He was just a bad one and she had to get out. This is how all women portray their relationships. And they make the decision to leave. And then they want to play victims at the same time. Now, if she did say she was abused, so I don't condone abuse in a relationship. That's one, reason when I say, hey, if you're being abused in a relationship, get out of it. I don't think that should be a deal breaker. But if we're talking about disagreements and, and you're not getting your way, because what we see a lot of times in these failed relationships is the women not getting their way. Of course, they're abusive relationships, but that does not make up the majority of why women leave marriages and relationships. A lot of times they can't get their way. The man is not willing to acquiesce to everything that they say they want. And then they have a problem with that. And it's a disagreement where they can't come together and agree upon anything that the man is saying that he wants. Because women think that their opinions and whatever they want should override the man. And if the man is going to be the leader, then that shouldn't be that way. He has to make the final say. Now, if you're a type of woman that you're going to always argue and go against what he's saying, then that becomes a problem. Because you don't want a leader, you want somebody just to do what you want them to do. And most men of standards who know what they're doing is not going to allow that to happen. So that could become a problem in a relationship. So I just think, once again, and even if the relationship fails, those kids still need their fathers. Even if the relationship between you was abusive, a lot of times women who claim abuse with their spouses, they don't say that the guy was abusive to their children. He loves his kids. A lot of these men still love their children and want to be present in their lives. But a lot of women think that, hey, if the relationship between us doesn't work, then I'm going to remove your kids from your life. You can't be around your kids. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of women make, because that man was never abusive to his kids. Y'all just couldn't agree. So at the end of the day, I still believe that these children need their fathers just as much as they need their mothers. I think this is ridiculous that women are pushing this narrative that children don't need their fathers. It's just toxic. And it's no wonder why we have such a single mother epidemic. And we see how a lot of those children who come from them single parent households are acting out here in the streets, and it's not getting any better. So this notion that the women are so much better, that's not what we're seeing. Why are these children growing up resenting their mothers? Because the mothers aren't perfect either. But we got to stop living in this delusional world, y'all. Acting as if we don't make mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes, men and women. Nobody is perfect. We got to stop walking around like you're the perfect specimen when you know you're not. Nope, none of us are. But once again, we got to do better. But listen, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. Y'all chime in. I want to hear what you got to say. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.